There is so much firepower in this race, including the facility record holder, Ayyıldız of Oregon. See that collegiate record. Set at BU in December by Hedengren. Ayyıldız wearing hip 7, making her stride outs in lane 2. But when you bring together the distance firepower of teams like Oregon and Wisconsin and Washington, and then a smattering of other really good talent, you don't have to necessarily be part of one of these deep teams. There are stars all over this conference when it comes to distance running. How do you see this playing out for a conference title?
Well, I mean, this is the start of many races for a lot of these athletes, so I do think it's going to be like it was last year, where it could be Ayyıldız, it could be a number of her teammates in this race, but, you know, maybe it comes down to the last K, even the last mile, where they really have to put the work in. We have a lot of athletes that have run very fast already this indoor season, but some of them haven't yet run the 5,000 meters, so it's their first time maybe doing the long one indoors here, and, yeah, I mean, it's kind of anybody's game, but I do think that we're going to see the Oregon women sort of take charge like they did last year. They went 1 through 3 last year.
And you see 3 of them there in close proximity to each other. Juliet Cherubet, Diana Cherotich, and Şilan Ayyıldız, a Turkish athlete. Also has Katie Kloot in the field. And she's on the inside, wearing hip number 1. "25 laps for our first track race title of these championships," as we show you the starting order for the second section. This is the seeded section in 2026.
Well, on paper, Paul, Diane Cherotich of Oregon has the fastest PB coming in. She's 15:13 runner, and so by far, on paper, she looks like she's going to be the one that, you know, will take it out maybe, but her teammate right there, we're looking at her, Ayyıldız, has done so well over 1,500 meters all the way up to 5,000.
Oh, come on!
I'm going to bring it back.
Well, not only a lot of traffic to maneuver through, but I think that was Ava Kranidi of Northwestern, who was offered a suggestion or two of how to make this second attempt at a start go much more smoothly. A lot of anxiousness.
Well, you're right.
In
There's lots of anxiousness, lots of bodies. Oh, no. It was almost like she moved again. I don't know if it was her or who, but on the inside there was some movement.
Oh, got to reset the watch.
Oh, someone else. Okay, good. I don't think I've ever seen a 5,000 meters be called back twice.
Hey, we're here for history.
Yes. But it is kind of like, okay, now we have to reset and reset. It is kind of nerve-wracking when that happens because, you know, yes, you can have a false start or something in these races. So you got to be still. There we go.
Yeah, didn't want to jinx it. Crowd seems to like it. Runners really like it because they can finally get out there on the track and start racing this 5,000 meter distance. 20 women lined up. Allie Bainbridge leading that group on the outside channel. They will come together with Cherotich and Cherubet ready to take the reins at the front, and you just sort of feel like they're backing off on the gas almost on purpose and trying to control this one in the early going. 36.08 on that first lap, and I'm going to put it out there that this second lap is going to be slower.
Yeah, I mean, why run any faster than you have to? I know that some of these athletes, this might be their biggest race of the weekend, and they have to, make sure that they run their own race in order to win. So, we might see an Allie Weimer from Minnesota, who's had a really nice year, ran a new PB in early indoors, but late 2025. So that in that December BU meet after cross country, she went and ran 15:39 and has had a nice indoors. So she might be the one, she's in third right now, that decides to go and push later on. But right now it's kind of what we all thought. The Oregon women would go up and sort of dictate what's going to happen in this race.
And that second lap, Carrie, 40.2.
Yeah. I mean, this is championship season. This is what happens at conference. You sort of let the races come to you and then figure out, you really are in tune with what your coaches and your teammates are telling you on the inside of the track or from the stands. I mean, for Oregon, this is a big time race for them to score a lot of points. This is where they're depending on their distance runners to really rack it up. So they have to be careful, and they have to let, their teammates kind of, I think, gauge one another. And so it's definitely a team effort today.
Well, Washington showed that in the first event that was scored today, and that women's pole vault, finishing first and second. They get 18 points to start the day and have the lead after one of 18 events to be scored. Oregon trying to use these key events to their advantage. 3 in the top 6 right now, still early on in the racing with 21 laps to go. After a 39-second last lap, they ran 39.4 through 800 meters, and they'll work their way around to complete the first kilometer here in a moment. Allie Bainbridge in between Cherubet and Cherotich. Allie Weimer of Minnesota, the talented junior, is sitting in fourth right now.
Well, this is kind of right where Ayyıldız was last year. She was very much able to see what was happening in front of her. She was right around 5th, 6th for most of the race, and then she knew when she had to go, and it was, I think, with about 1,000 meters to go, she just put the hammer down, and she ran the way that I think most of us were expecting to see her race last year. So what will happen this year? She's had a phenomenal indoor season already, so she's very fit and ready to go. So I don't think we've seen her run the 5,000 meters this year indoors, but she has run 15:15 outdoors. She's also a 2:03 800-meter runner. I mean, she just has such great range. It's really fun to see how she runs on the grass in the fall, and just a phenomenal athlete she is.
19 laps to go as they pass through 1,200 meters in 3:53.11. Still Cherubet, Bainbridge, Cherotich, Weimer, and now Charlotte Kostic of Penn State has moved up, though, for the last lap, and let's call it almost lap and a half. She's been running outside in lane 2 as she's tried to work her way up from the back of the pack, but as a result just can't get back to the rail, and so she's running that extra distance right now, holding to the strategy of trying to stay with the leaders now with 18 laps to go. A little quicker on that last lap, 38.9. Oh, and we got a fall.
Watching how...
And I'm not sure who in the traffic there got caught up, but that was the result of that group just being way too packed together. And now we just see quickly two groups start to separate.
It might have been Weimer of Minnesota. She's now in the back. But, yeah, this is the thing. This is what happens, Paul, especially when you play around with pace. We see it all the time at championship races at all levels. But it's totally like you have to be ready for it. You have to be watching what's going on. And the slow pace is tough. There's a lot of people around here. But, yeah, I think it was Weimer at least, or she is moving around, moving her way back in, and at least they're going slow enough to let these athletes kind of back in the race.
Yeah, Weimer.
Oh,
in
yeah.
that fall, and she was up in 4th place at that point of the race and dropped 11 spots in the subsequent lap. And we'll just keep an eye on her as you see her kind of pop out there for a moment. Hip number 5 is Weimer, and she has moved her way back up towards the lead.
Well, keeping your cool when that happens is so key in these kind of races, and she's had a phenomenal season. She's taken about 40 seconds off, 24 seconds off to be exact, in her in the 5,000 already this year. So she has this confidence and she's got this energy coming into these races where she's seeing a whole different, ball game of how she can race. So, I'm hoping that she can calm herself here and get back into the race and have the one that she was hoping for.
So a 38.3 on that last lap as Ayyıldız is now ahead, leading Cherubet and Cherotich. Connie Finger of Wisconsin is in 4th. And Weimer has moved now into 4th. You see her on the outside. Just sort of wonder if Heather Camp Dornadin is out there watching somewhere. One of the more famous viral videos in Minnesota collegiate history when she fell in a race, came back to win, and Weimer trying to get back into the mix here as she was lucky. That happened early in the race. Let's see if it has an impact on her towards the tail end of this race, but things starting to click a little bit faster here now. Laps of 37.6, 38 flat. And this will be halfway when they get to the back of the backstretch.
Well, Juliet Cherubet is coming off of a great indoor mile as well, so she is definitely tuned up, ready to go. Shalane Flanagan, her coach there, knows exactly how to run in these championship races herself, so she has such great advice for these athletes coming in. But you can just see how the Ducks are working together. But Weimer's right there. And, when you have a fall like that and you have a situation where you get real frustrated early on, sometimes it goes your way. And she looks good. She doesn't look flustered. She's just getting up on the shoulders and racing.
You sort of feel like Cherotich is protecting the outside by running where she is and kind of causing this group behind. There's just nowhere for you to go around. You got to go all the way out into lane 2, and you can see her looking around, as too is Cherubet. Ayyıldız in that spot in 4th, almost sort of the lead scout for the Oregon women, as she could sense any moves that would happen behind her and try to cover, or at least let her teammates know. .37.5 on that last lap as things start to wind up here in the second half of the women's 5,000-meter final.
Well, Cherubet was 5th indoors last year at Big Tens or at NCAA's, and she definitely is excited about how things are going. I don't know if you saw after she ran that last mile that she ran coming into this meet, but she had her flexing going at the finish line. Like, she was pumped up, she was celebrating. And when you have that momentum, Paul, going into races like this and having there's a lot riding on these races, that really helps knowing that you have had the best races of your life coming in. You can see Ayyıldız just chilling out there in 4th. And she, too, has had a phenomenal indoor season. She wants to be the one to win. We know that with Ayyıldız. She's always in the picture. But she's really learning how to run strategically. And I like watching how she's raced through her entire career here at the NCAAs.
An even quicker last lap as this lead group begins to get away from the rest of the field. As it's now 5 in that lead group. Williams of Wisconsin trying to stay in contact, but as they close in on 3,400 meters, 8 laps to go for a Big Ten title at 5,000 meters, in Oregon with 3 of their athletes in the top 4. And Allie Weimer, who fell onto this track earlier in the race, right back and in the mix. And now has kind of forced her way into a better position strategically, as she's now on the outside shoulder of Cherubet, who was kind of blocking off the space for a while.
Well, Allie Weimer's really made her presence known in cross country, now indoors. She has just been in every single race, leading her races when she's on her own and running fast times. So she is definitely here to show everyone she belongs with these ladies up front. This is exactly what happened last year. I just rewatched that race. It was Penn State's Karen who was the only one up there with the Ducks. They were with them. She was with them for the last 1,000 meters, ended up getting 4th there, but the Ducks had to outrun her to be in that top 3, and that's what might happen again today.
Six laps to go. As it remains Cherubet, Cherotich, Weimer, and Ayyıldız.
Well, you said it
And
when
they
Heather
now seem
Camp
to
fell.
have gotten away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, when Heather Camp fell, Paul, it was at the Big Ten Championships. It was in the 600 meters, I believe. She had 1 lap to go. She did a front roll and came back. She ended up getting 2nd, but won her heat. And that video has been played, I think, millions, up to 5 million times, something like that. And you know, all of us here in Minnesota know Heather, and we know that grit, that determination. And you know that when you run with your college on your chest, you can make history. And you know, Allie Weimer would be one like Heather Camp if she could come out and run the race that she wants. She's fighting for every step of it.
Less than a K to go. Weimer still there, running a solo effort for the Minnesota Gophers against a trio of talented Ducks, coached by Shalane Flanagan at the University of Oregon. So rich in tradition, and have brought that tradition to the Big Ten Conference. And now racing 1, 2, and 3, and maybe trying to get away from Weimer. And Ayyıldız is now going to make the move to the front and settles in for a moment in 2nd.
Well, there's nothing like defending your title, and she is the one that broke the tape last year. She's gearing up for that finishing kick that we all know she has, so even the other Ducks around her know they got to run it out of her.
.400 meters complete. Last lap in 35:61, so they've done back-to-back laps under 36 seconds. And just look at the foot strike by Cherotich, just bouncing now. So too is Cherubet. And Ayyıldız, as Weimer now not in the picture. As they come down the main straightaway, she has fallen off. She's ahead of that traffic that I think they've all just passed, so still comfortably in 4th. But the Ducks now racing towards another sweep at 5,000 meters here in Indy.
Just watching who's the one that dares to take over. You almost feel a little bit bad, but just for a second, and then you get over it.
Ayyıldız is now in the leader's position, coming up on the bell lap. And this will easily be under the previous record she set last year. Is she going to be the winner? She's got a little bit of company heading down the backstretch for the final time in Cherotich. But here comes the miler's speed now. Şilan in full flight, full stride, and making the turn for home. She will win another Big Ten title and smash her previous record, 15:37.90, as she takes almost 20 seconds off the record, and the Ducks go 1, 2, and 3 at 5K.
Well, what a race that was. We could see that Ayyıldız was watching very contently back in 6th, back in 5th, and moving up with her teammates, just navigating the traffic and really not using a lot of energy in this race. We know she has other races this weekend, so just trying to conserve as much, but what a race. And also big ups to Weimer for coming back after a big fall, having most of the field have to jump over her, potentially even step on her, and showing what composure she has to be able to calm herself down and really have a great race.
Last lap for Ayyıldız, 31:05 in slamming the door on the rest of the field and her teammates, for that matter, in taking the victory at 5,000 meters. So Oregon with the top 3, and they absolutely made this a team race throughout here, Carrie, as they just kind of dictated things from the front. And there was the fall that Weimer was sent to the deck, but got back into it, made it competitive. Just maybe a little bit of burnout in the last couple of laps, but for good reason, as Oregon kept turning the screws, and Ayyıldız leads the 1, 2, 3 sweep of the Oregon Ducks in Indy. There's a look at the final results, still to be made official, with team scoring to be added, but can't ask for much more from the Oregon Ducks to get their weekend started in a bid for another Big Ten championship, as they go 1, 2, and 3 in the 5,000 meters. Katie Kloot finishing in 10th for the Ducks, and Weimer 15:48.43 finishing in 4th.